Behind this beautiful silver machine lies a story most people never hear. A tale of near bankruptcy, a bombed-out factory, a designer's genius, and an engine that would shape British motorcycling for decades. This is the hidden story behind the Triumph Tiger 100. On the surface, it's a fast, elegant sports bike from 1939, named for its claimed 100-mile-per-hour top speed. But dig deeper, and you find a machine that survived a world war, rescued a company, and fathered some of the most famous motorcycles ever built. To understand the Tiger 100, you must go back to the mid-1930s. Triumph was in deep trouble. Its motorcycles were expensive to build, its finances were collapsing, and the company was sliding toward ruin. The proud old marque was fighting for its very survival. Then came a rescuer. Jack Sangster, the boss of rival firm Ariel, saw an opportunity in the foundering Triumph works. He bought the struggling company, and, crucially, he brought with him one man, a designer whose genius would change everything. That man was Edward Turner. In 1936, he became Triumph's chief designer and managing director. Turner had a rare gift. He could combine performance, style, and simplicity into machines that people desperately wanted to own, and he was about to prove it. Turner's first move was clever and thrifty. He took 3 existing single-cylinder Triumph models and, with styling tweaks and tuning, transformed them into desirable sporting machines. It cost little, but it revived interest in the brand. Yet his real masterpiece was still to come. In 1937, Turner unveiled his true stroke of genius, the Speed Twin, a 500 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine, narrow enough to fit where a single once sat, yet far smoother and more refined. It was light, elegant, and utterly brilliant. It changed motorcycling forever. The Speed Twin's engine was a revelation. It made only a little more power than Triumph's single, around 28 horsepower. But the delivery was smoother, the torque stronger, and it was easier to start. Riders loved it, and it sold in huge numbers. That parallel twin layout became the template for British motorcycles for the next 40 years. Nearly every great British bike that followed owed something to Turner's 1937 design. It was one of the most influential engines in the entire history of motorcycling. With the Speed Twin selling brilliantly, Turner's mind turned to the next step. He wanted a faster, sportier version, a machine for the true enthusiast, something lighter, more powerful, and more thrilling. In 1939, that machine arrived. It was the Tiger 100. The name told you everything. Following Triumph's tradition, the 100 referred to its claimed top speed, 100 miles per hour. For 1939, that was a genuinely spectacular figure. The Tiger 100 was, quite simply, one of the fastest production motorcycles money could buy. Turner set it apart visually, too. While the Speed Twin wore a sober, dark red, the Tiger 100 gleamed in beautiful silver with black pinstriping. It looked fast standing still. It looked special. And it announced at a glance that this was the sporting Triumph. Underneath, it was more than just a repainted Speed Twin. The Tiger 100 featured genuine performance upgrades. Most notably, it used forged alloy pistons, a very early, advanced use of that technology. These lighter, stronger pistons helped the engine rev harder and produce more power. There were other key changes. The cylinders were forged in a single casting, held down by 8 studs instead of the Speed Twin's 6, solving an earlier weakness. And thanks to the engine's 360-degree firing, it needed just a single carburetor. Clever, simple, effective engineering. The result was a genuine high-performance machine. Triumph's own brochure described it proudly as an ultra-high-performance sports motorcycle, with a specially tuned engine capable of satisfying anyone who wished to travel fast and far. Yet it remained smooth and pleasant when you simply wanted to cruise. To prove those bold claims, Triumph did something remarkable in March 1939. They took a Tiger 100 and a Speed Twin straight from a dealer's showroom and subjected them to one of the toughest endurance tests imaginable. It was a genuine trial by fire. The bikes were ridden the length of Britain, from John O'Groats in the far north of Scotland all the way to Land's End in Cornwall. That alone was over 1,800 grueling miles. But the real test was still to come, at the famous Brooklands circuit. At Brooklands, the machines were run flat out for 6 continuous hours of high-speed laps. The riders averaged over 78 miles per hour across the whole run, with a final lap at over 88. It was a stunning display of speed and reliability from showroom bikes. For this incredible feat, Triumph won the prestigious Mods Trophy, an award for the most meritorious endurance test of the year. It was priceless publicity. The Tiger 100 had proven, beyond any doubt, that it could genuinely travel fast and travel far, exactly as promised. And there was more proof of its speed. The famous rider Freddie Clark lapped Brooklands on a Tiger 100 at an astonishing 118 miles per hour. That was on a specially prepared racing machine, running on methanol, but it showed the design's incredible potential. The Tiger 100 became the fastest bike on the market almost overnight. Triumph had scored its second major hit in just 2 years, following the Speed Twin. The company that had been staring at bankruptcy just a few years earlier was now thriving, respected, and admired. But then, history intervened in the most brutal way. The Second World War broke out, and civilian motorcycle production ceased almost entirely. Triumph, like every British manufacturer, turned its attention to building machines for the war effort. The Tiger 100's glorious early run was abruptly halted. Worse was to come. On the night of the 14th of November 1940, German bombers devastated the city of Coventry. The Triumph factory, right in the heart of the city, was completely destroyed. Decades of tooling, records, and machinery were reduced to smoking rubble in a single night. It could have been the end. For many companies, losing their entire factory would have been a fatal blow. But Triumph refused to die. This resilience, this refusal to be beaten, even by the Luftwaffe, is a crucial and often forgotten part of the Tiger's hidden story. Triumph rebuilt. A brand new factory rose from the ground at Meriden, on the outskirts of Coventry. It would become one of the most famous addresses in all of motorcycling. And from its gates, once the war ended, the Tiger 100 would ride again, better than ever. When peace returned in 1946, Triumph wasted no time. Civilian production roared back to life at Meriden, and with export markets desperate for motorcycles, especially in America, Triumph made a bold decision. It dropped its old single-cylinder bikes and bet everything on the twins. That gamble paid off spectacularly. The parallel twins, led by the Speed Twin and the sporting Tiger 100, flourished in the post-war boom. Edward Turner's genius for combining speed with style meant these bikes looked as good as they went, and the world couldn't get enough. The post-war Tiger 100 evolved quickly. It gained modern telescopic front forks, replacing the old girder design, transforming the ride and handling. Turner understood that a great engine deserved a great chassis. Step by step, the Tiger 100 became a more capable, more refined, more desirable machine. America fell in love with it. In the post-war years, the United States became a vital market. Young American riders craved fast, light, stylish British twins, and the Tiger 100 delivered exactly that. It helped build the legend of the British motorcycle in America. That American connection would prove hugely important. Racing success on American soil, especially at the legendary Daytona races, would eventually give the Tiger 100 line its most famous name of all. But that chapter was still to come. First, the Tiger had more to prove. A major leap arrived around 1951. Triumph introduced a new version of the Tiger 100 with close-finned, die-cast alloy cylinders and cylinder head, replacing the old cast-iron components. This alloy top end was lighter, ran cooler, and was far superior to what had come before. This was so good, in fact, that it made Triumph's earlier, specialized Grand Prix racer obsolete. The new alloy-headed Tiger 100 was simply better. So Triumph dropped the Grand Prix model and instead offered a special race kit for the Tiger 100 itself. That race kit was significant. It meant an ordinary rider could buy a Tiger 100, fit the kit, and go genuine road racing. The Tiger 100 became the machine of choice for the ambitious clubman racer, the everyday enthusiast chasing glory on the track. And chase glory they did. Triumph Tiger 100 riders were always in contention for the Senior Clubman's TT, the 500cc race for these near-standard machines. The Tiger was a genuine competitor at the highest levels of amateur racing, right there on the world's most famous circuits. This competition success fed directly back into the road bikes. The lessons learned on the track about power, reliability, and handling made every Tiger 100 that followed a better motorcycle. Racing improved the breed, and the breed, in turn, dominated the showrooms. The Tiger 100 also spawned a whole family. There was the T100C, a super-tuned, higher-performance version for those who wanted even more. The name and the concept branched out, but always around that same core idea: Edward Turner's brilliant, versatile, endlessly tunable parallel twin. As the years passed, the Tiger 100 kept evolving. It moved from the old pre-unit design, where engine and gearbox were separate, to a modern unit construction where they were combined. The T100 SS and other variants kept the name fresh, fast, and desirable through the 1960s. Throughout it all, the Tiger 100 built a reputation as a rider's machine. It wasn't the biggest or the most powerful Triumph. The bigger 650S took those honors. But it was light, sweet handling, and beautifully balanced. Many riders considered it the finest handling Triumph of all. And here lies another part of the hidden story. The Tiger 100 was the direct ancestor of one of the most famous motorcycles ever made, the Triumph Daytona. That legendary name was born from the Tiger 100 line's racing success in America at the Daytona circuit. The 500cc Daytona machines were the ultimate evolution of Turner's Tiger 100 concept. They carried the sporting spirit, the lightweight, and the tunable twin engine to its peak. When people admire a classic Triumph Daytona, they're really admiring the final flowering of the Tiger 100. The Tiger 100 line ran, in various forms, for an astonishing 34 years, from 1939 all the way to 1973. Very few motorcycle names have ever enjoyed such a long, successful, and celebrated production life. It spanned an entire golden age of British motorcycling. Along the way, it racked up countless competition successes, not just in the Clubman's TT, but in American flat track racing, in enduros, and of course, at Daytona. These victories cemented the Tiger 100 firmly into motorcycling history, and it was all thanks to that original Turner twin. Think about the sheer span of its life. The Tiger 100 was born in the shadow of the Second World War, survived the destruction of its own factory, thrived through the post-war boom, conquered America, and raced into the 1970s. Few machines witnessed so much history. When the original Tiger 100 line finally ended in 1973, it left an enormous legacy. But the name was too good, too evocative to stay retired forever. It represented speed, heritage, and the very soul of Triumph. One day it would surely return, and return it did. When the reborn Triumph Company rose at Hinckley in the 1990s, it revived the Tiger name in 1993, this time on an adventure motorcycle. The spirit of the fast, versatile, go-anywhere Triumph lived on in a completely new form. Today, the classic Tiger 100 is a deeply cherished machine. Collectors and enthusiasts prize the early silver models especially, seeking out these beautiful pre-war and post-war twins. They represent a pivotal, precious moment in motorcycling, the birth of the modern British sports bike. To ride one is to feel that history directly. The smooth pulse of Turner's twin, the light and agile handling, the elegant simplicity of it all. Even now, decades later, a good Tiger 100 is a genuinely delightful, characterful, and rewarding motorcycle to ride. Its influence is almost impossible to overstate. The parallel twin engine that powered the Tiger 100 defined British motorcycling for generations. It led directly to the legendary Bonneville, the Daytona, and countless others. Turner's basic design was still being built, in various forms, for decades. So the hidden story of the Tiger 100 is really the story of an idea. Edward Turner's brilliant parallel twin, An engine so good, so versatile, and so full of character that it powered a whole dynasty of legendary machines and saved a company along the way. It's a story of resilience, too, of a company rescued from bankruptcy, of a factory bombed to rubble and rebuilt, of a nation's motorcycle industry rising from the ashes of war. The Tiger 100 carried that spirit of determination in its very DNA. And it's a story of genius, of one designer who understood that a motorcycle should be more than mere transport. It should be fast, beautiful, reliable, and full of soul. Edward Turner poured all of that into the Tiger 100, and riders felt it immediately. The Tiger 100 never shouted about its own importance. It just quietly got on with being brilliant, being fast, being beautiful, being loved. And in doing so, it earned a place among the most significant and cherished motorcycles Britain ever produced. Look at one today, gleaming in its silver paint, and you're not just looking at an old motorcycle. You're looking at a survivor, a pioneer, the ancestor of legends, and the beautiful, hidden heart of the entire Triumph story. That is the Tiger 100. So the next time you hear the name Tiger 100, remember what lies beneath it. A rescued company, a world-changing engine, a bombed factory rebuilt, a racing legend born, and a designer's timeless genius captured forever in gleaming silver and polished alloy. That's the real hidden story. The Triumph Tiger 100 wasn't just a fast motorcycle. It was the machine that helped save Triumph, defined the British twin, survived a war, and fathered legends. And that remarkable legacy will never, ever be forgotten.